So hello everyone and welcome to a special edition of the State of the Fleet Market video series produced by Automotive Fleet magazine. And this video series is designed to spotlight key leaders in the commercial fleet management industry. And today I have the honor of talking with Alex May, Senior Manager Fleet for Rollins Inc., where he manages a fleet of 12,700 vehicles in the US. So thank you for joining us, Alex, and being a part of this Spotlight series. So to start our discussion, could you share with our viewers some of the major fleet projects you're working on? For an example, I know Rollins has been an early adopter of telematics in its fleet operations. Could you explain to our viewers how Rollins is incorporating telematics technology, and in particular, how you're using it in the area of safety?
Thank you, Mike. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me on. Telematics has always been a part of the Rollins fleet, even before I took over the position, and we continue to use it. It's one of the challenges with telematics is just the sheer fact that you're always having to create more savings with it. You can always get the initial savings out of it within the first couple of years, but as the years goes on, you're always looking for other ways to incorporate it. To look at ways to cut costs out of the fleet, because we know cost of fleet always goes up. One of the things that we're really pushing right now is right sizing the fleet. We're looking at overutilized as well as underutilized vehicles. We have actually we had a project last year that we actually had a little contest with some of our branches within the Orkin brand to it was called the low idle wins the title type thing. And so it was basically pitting the different regions and different divisions that we have in the Orkin side of the business to really compete with each other. And through that, we ran the contest for about a quarter and actually ended up, just easy money, putting about $50,000 in fuel savings to the bottom line.
Very good.
Our safety team is always using telematics to really pursue safety, to incorporate it within their scorecards, to actually, have these guys compete with each other on their scorecards as well. So it's not just fleet using it, it's our safety side of things as well. And, hopefully we can actually stretch it into some of the other new technological systems that are coming with today's cars.
Okay, excellent. Those are great best practices to share with the viewers. And what a lot of viewers might not realize is, you are an award-winning fleet manager. Last year, you won the Fleet Visionary Award. So congratulations again on that. But
Thank you.
The reason for bringing that up is one of the reasons you won this award was because of your incorporation of advanced driver assistance technologies, or ADAS, in your fleet vehicles, and also the educational program that you set up to train drivers on how to properly use these technologies. And this is often a missing component after this technology is acquired. And I was wondering if you could provide some additional information to the viewers on this fleet initiative.
Yes, and the new technologies are just that, they're new. They're ever evolving. You're always having to understand what these new systems do. And I think the biggest challenge for us is educating the drivers on what these systems will actually do and what they will not do, and how they were designed. And we use a lot of Toyotas, Tacoma, Camry, and Corolla for our technicians, as well as our sales and national account fleets. And one of the reasons that we went that direction is these technologies were available in their base models, and you didn't really have to step up into the nicer models to get these options. And at this point, we're probably 3/4 of our fleet has these technologies at this point. And probably within the next year or so, we'll probably be closer to 100% as we start turning over our fleet. But if you look at some of the commercials that are on TV about these technologies, and you see how they advertise them, you would think that these things were, basically self-driving cars. But that's not the case. And what we try to do is through our e-driving and our safety team, and actually partnering with Toyota, is to be able to let these guys know, there's the ability to defeat these systems, but defeating these systems kind of, no pun intended, but defeat the purpose of having these systems on the vehicles. Because we have a lot of drivers that complain about the beeps or the interruptions into their daily lives of driving the vehicle. But we have seen significant reduction in some of our rear end collisions because of these systems. Coming from that standpoint, we're still kind of digging into, how we can really play that into our best favor to kind of push forward with these technologies. And as Toyota evolves and even some of the other manufacturers evolve these technologies, how can we incorporate these technologies actually into our telematics? Telematics is more of a, here's what happened, and we want to get to that point where we're being proactive and saying, how do we prevent that from happening? So if we can start getting some of that information, maybe there's a driver that, his TSS or, any of these safety systems are triggered, can we start collecting some of that data? And right now that's a little bit of a challenge, from the manufacturer side. But we're still working with Toyota to try to maybe get some of that information if at all possible.
Have you started remarketing some of the vehicles yet that have the ADAS equipment on it? And has that improved your resale values?
The good thing for us, Tacoma has been a really good seller for us, especially on the remarketing side. It's actually been even pretty strong through, the COVID times that we've had now. So, I want to say, first of all, that I think Tacoma's, probably, the first piece of it, but we are seeing an uptick a little bit in some of our remarketing side because, we have a lot of folks that are buying these cars that are looking, for their kids or, first-time drivers or sending them off to college or whatever. I get a lot of requests for these vehicles with these systems on it.
Very good. We're in the midst of this pandemic now, and it's really impacted a lot of companies, obviously. But you used it, or Rollins used it as an opportunity. I mean, last March, Rollins introduced a disinfectant service to deter the spread of COVID-19 infections, and I believe you call it VitalClean. And really an admirable accomplishment, an initiative that your company's adopted there. I was wondering if you could provide some more detailed information about the service to our readers.
Yeah, it was actually, I won't say it was an easy transition. I mean, obviously the team here had to ramp up to get the supplies, with Lysol and gloves and masks and stuff just disappearing off the shelves really quickly. Our team that I'm actually a part of actually mobilized pretty quickly to gather the chemicals that we use to perform the service and to mobilize it pretty quick. It's actually a chemical that we actually, we're already using from a standpoint, if we go out to a commercial site, whether it's a hospital or a restaurant or any other type of commercial business, that if we have to do, a big time fumigation or something else, we actually use this to clean up the chemicals. And once you use this VitalClean, you wipe it on and it takes care of itself. You just let it dry and it's EPA approved. It's one of the lowest toxicity. That's a really hard word to say, but it's one of the lowest toxicities out there. I mean, if I've actually used it here at my house as well, and it basically smells like swimming pool water, if you will. But it's a really effective chemical that we're using, and it's really starting to take off. And the beauty of it was we didn't have to alter any of our technician trucks or anything of that nature. I mean, it was just basically we provide them with the supplies, and they can go out and any of our branches can perform this service for you.
Very good. Well, great success story. And I want to thank you, Alex, for a great conversation. And we really do appreciate you bringing us up to speed on your current fleet initiatives, along with the new service that you're offering, VitalClean. So with that, thank you very much for taking the time for our interview.
All right. Thank you for having me, Mike. Everybody, we'll see you soon and stay safe.